I was walking home late in the evening when I saw it again. The small house at the end of the road. Most people passed this place without even turning their heads. The house was quiet, old, hidden behind tall trees. But for some reason, every time I walked by, I felt something warm in my chest, like the house knew me, like it was watching me gently from the shadows. Tonight, something was different. A soft golden light shone from the window. It wasn't bright. It wasn't strong. It was warm, like a candle waiting for someone who had been gone for a very long time. I stopped walking. My heart beat a little faster. The air felt still, almost expectant. I didn't understand why, but something inside me whispered, "Go there, go now. Don't wait." I took one slow step toward the house. The road behind me grew silent, as if the world itself was holding its breath. With every step, the warm window light grew softer, deeper, more inviting, like a little sun trapped in glass. When I reached the door, I hesitated. My hand slowly raised to knock, but before my knuckles touched the wood, the door opened on its own. A quiet, warm breeze came out, carrying the smell of tea, old books, and something sweet that reminded me of childhood. "Come in," a calm voice said. "I know why you're here." I didn't know the voice, but I felt no fear, only a deep curiosity, like something important was finally happening. I stepped inside. The house felt alive, as if every object carried a story. Small candles glowed on wooden tables. Soft shadows moved on the walls like slow waves. Shelves were filled with old books, their covers worn by time. There were photos, drawings, tiny stones with symbols, and little handmade decorations that looked simple but full of meaning. In a rocking chair near the window sat an old woman. Her silver hair fell gently over her shoulders. Her eyes were calm and warm, like she had been waiting for me for years. "You have been passing my house for many days," she said softly. "You always look lost." Her words touched something deep inside me. I tried to answer, but my voice was small. "I don't know what I'm looking for." She nodded slowly, as if she already knew. "That is why you're here," she said. "Sit down, my child." Her voice was steady and kind. I sat in the chair across from her, feeling a strange comfort, like I had finally arrived in a place I didn't know I needed. She stood up and beckoned me to follow her. We walked to a small room at the back of the house. Inside, there was only one thing: a wooden table with a tiny notebook on it. The notebook was old but clean, as if someone cared for it every day. "Open it," she said. I opened the notebook with careful hands. On the first page was a single question. "What do you really want?" My heart jumped. The room suddenly felt smaller. My throat tightened. It was such a simple question, but I couldn't answer it. I had never tried to answer it. I spent my life doing what others expected, working, rushing, worrying, pretending everything was fine. But what I wanted, I didn't know. Not even a little. "I don't know," I whispered. She placed a gentle hand on my shoulder. "That is the problem," she said softly. "People forget to talk to themselves. They forget to listen. They forget to ask the most important question." I closed the notebook slowly. My fingers trembled. We returned to the living room, and she made me a cup of tea. The tea smelled like honey, mint, and something warm I couldn't name. When I took the first sip, my whole body relaxed. We sat in silence. Not cold silence, warm silence. Silence that felt like a soft blanket. Silence that allowed thoughts to breathe. Finally she spoke. "People think answers come from noise, from talking, from working, from doing many things. But real answers come only from quiet moments. When you stop running. When you stop fighting. When you simply sit and listen. Her words entered me like sunlight entering a dark room. I looked around her home again. The candles, the books, the small handmade objects. Everything here felt slow, peaceful, full of purpose. "Why does your house feel so different?" I asked. She smiled gently. "Because it is a house for people who forgot how to listen to their hearts." Before I left, she handed me the small notebook from the back room. "Take it," she said. "Write your answer when your heart whispers it to you. Not today. Not tomorrow. Whenever the moment comes." I held the notebook tightly. It felt strangely heavy, like it carried all the truth I had ignored for years. I stepped outside. The air felt fresh. The world felt softer. Even the darkness of the road felt kinder. As I walked home, I thought about the question again and again. What do I really want? The more I repeated it, the more I felt my heart waking up, slowly, like a bird opening its eyes after a long winter. The next morning, I sat by my window with the notebook in my hands. I stared at the blank pages. The question still scared me, but for the first time in years, I wanted to find the answer. I wrote small words first. Quiet. A life that feels real. A life that feels mine. I didn't write a full answer. But I wrote something. It was a beginning. Later that day, I walked down the same road again. The sky was soft and gray. The world felt calm. As I passed the end of the road, I looked toward the quiet house. The lights were off now. The door was closed. It looked just like an ordinary house. But it wasn't. I knew that behind that door was a place of truth, a place where people finally stopped running, stopped pretending, stopped hiding their hearts. And somehow, even without speaking, the house felt alive. It felt like it was saying, "Come back when you're ready." Days passed. Then weeks. Every evening, I sat at my desk with the notebook and a cup of tea. I wrote little things, small thoughts, small wishes, small pieces of honesty I had never allowed myself to say before. Sometimes I wrote only one word. Sometimes a whole page. But every day, something inside me became quieter. And at the same time, something inside me became clearer. I stopped rushing so much. I started walking more slowly. I smiled more often. I listened to myself, truly listened, for the first time in years. Everything felt different. Not fast. Not dramatic. But real. One rainy evening, after many weeks, I suddenly felt something inside me shift. A soft, gentle movement, like a whisper. I opened the notebook with shaking hands. This time, I knew. I wrote, "I want a life where my heart feels safe. A life with quiet mornings. A life where I can breathe. A life full of small, warm moments that matter." As I finished writing, a warm tear fell onto the page. But it wasn't a sad tear. It was a peaceful one. For the first time in many years, I felt like I had found something real. Not a dream. Not a plan. Not a big goal. Just truth. My truth. I stood up, took my coat, and walked out into the gentle rain. The road glowed softly in the evening light. The world felt clean and alive. When I reached the quiet house at the end of the road, the door opened before I touched it, just like the first time. The old woman smiled at me, as if she already knew. "You heard your heart," she said. I nodded. I did. She placed her hands over mine for a brief moment, warm, steady, gentle. "Then your path has finally begun." And in that small, quiet house, on that silent, forgotten road, my real life finally started.